Hello again. This is Debbie Jansen with Honest Information for Powerful Lives. And thank you so much for watching my videos and for sending me your questions. You can do that by going to www.debbiejansen.com and go up to the Contact tab, and you can send me a question there. You can connect with me on Facebook. You can leave questions in the comment page here on YouTube, but I may not see that as quickly. My phone's been blowing up and I've been getting questions online, and it's all based on several different things that we'll talk about over a period of videos. But today I'm going to take care of the most pressing one because a lot of people are having meltdowns. And they're having meltdowns because of the adult parenting relationship. Either it's with a teen who's getting ready to graduate or who's having some issues and, oh my goodness, how do I talk to this child anymore? Or it's in a parenting situation where you have a young adult who just got married or who is going out into the workplace, and all of a sudden the two of you are butting heads because you can't communicate. And some people are having grandparenting issues, which just boggles my mind because grandparenting is just mentorship and fun. So you don't have any responsibilities at that point. But let's break this apart. Now, I am using no notes today. I'm just talking off the top of my head. So if I miss something or if I don't answer your question, please send me a question or send me a comment and I'll get to it quickly. So the first thing you need to know is that parenting an adult is so much different than your child. When my kids were 17, 18, at the end of their senior year at high school, I did this. I put my hand out. I said, let's shake. I said, congratulations. You are now an adult. You are considered an adult by the state, by the federal government. So you are no longer my child. Now, you will always be my child to me, but not to the state, not to the federal government. So you get yourself in trouble, I may not be able to help you. I can advise you, but I can't help you get out of trouble like I could when you were in 6th grade. And also, welcome to the adult world. We now have a different relationship. I am not your everyday, stay in your face, get this done or else parent. I am on the same level with you, or you are on the same level with me. We are both adults. So that requires some new rules and some new engagements of respect and honor for the other person. Now, moms, dads, it's going to be harder for you than it is for your teen or your young adult. Your teen or young adult, they can handle it. They know when to back off. They know when to say, hey, no, I got this. I can handle this. They know that. You need to practice that. So if your kid is still 13, 14, 16, 17, start practicing now. Start releasing more responsibility to them, where if they mess up, you go, wow, I thought you could do that. Let's see how we can work our way out of this. But you don't yell and scream at them, and you don't fuss at them. You work with them so that when you do the congratulations and they're 18 or 20, you can still work with them. You don't want to be the parent of a child for the rest of their life and your life. You don't want that. You want to do your job up to the age of 18 and then begin, if you haven't already begun, which hopefully you have, but begin to let go and let them have their own life. The worst thing you can do is try to hang on to your children and live their life for them. You know why? Anybody know why? Because if they make a mistake and they're hurting, but they're listening to you and you told them to do that, who gets blamed for it? You do. Let go of that blame game, that guilt game. Let them go. Let them do what they need to do. Now, does this mean you're not going to be involved? Absolutely not. Get yourself in gear to be their mentor. And you know what that means? You're the best counselor in the world because they can come to you. There's a lot they don't have to say because you know their personality, you know who they are, you know what their traits are. And they say, Mom, Dad, this didn't work out. And I don't know why. And you can say, well, I think you did a good job. And I think you got to a good place. You just didn't take it far enough. And here's why. And you can come alongside of them and help them navigate life so that they do not have to invent the wheel every single day. They can use your experience plus their experience. Now, what causes the meltdown? The meltdowns come because parents think they know best. After all, they have told you they know best for 16, 18 years. And now we get up to this place to where you're going to start doing the things that you've been practicing for the last 3 or 4 years. You're going to start taking hold and doing those things. And what's Mom and Dad going to do? I mean, give Mom and Dad a little break. They just lost their job. Okay? They're not your full-time parent anymore. You get to go out there and do things that maybe they wanted to do, but they couldn't, or they didn't have the talent for, or whatever. And they're seeing you moving away and making new friends. And they're wondering, do they still love me? Do they still want me? Are they still here for me? Well, both of you can settle that question by having a certain time of the week that you get together, that you have a meal. I love Blue Bloods. I hate violence, but I love Blue Bloods because they do one thing. They sit at the dinner table on Sunday and they talk. No TV, no phones, we talk. And that's what you should be doing with adult children. Get together and talk and tell them about your week and they tell you about your week, and do not be critical. Say, oh, wow, okay, all right, sure. The rule is to be a good adult parent, you have to respect your child. You have to honor them. You have to treat them like you would treat the really nice new lady that comes in and teaches your Sunday school class, and you just adore her for what she says and does and how she looks and the whole bit. Treat your kid that way. After all, they're your child. And I think some of it is guilt that causes the meltdowns, because you get to that point and you're releasing your child into the world and you realize, oh, I forgot to handle that problem. They're going to deal with that from now on. I didn't teach them how to do this or how to do that. I need to get in their life because I messed up. No. You get in their life if you're asked. Be polite. You would be polite to the nice Sunday school teacher, so be polite to your kids. If they say, man, I'm having such a hard time, you say to them, would you like some help with that? And if they say, no, I want to figure this out by myself. Okay, well, I'm here if you need me. And you smile. And you say, maybe you say something like, well, you know what? You are a smart guy, or you are a smart girl. And I'm going to trust you. I tell you what, though, I'm going to pray for you. And I'm going to trust you so that you can go out into the world and have a great life. Respect is key to having a good relationship. Now, let me go back and say something that a lot of parents have looked at me and said, what? If you yelled at your kid every time they did something wrong when they were 4, 6, 8, 10, guess what's going to happen? They're going to yell back at you when they are 13, 14, 16, 18. You know why? Because when something was wrong, you taught them by your actions. Hey, when you're upset, yell at somebody, scream, call them every name in the book, because that's what we do when we're mad or when somebody doesn't do what we tell them to do. Oh, yuck. I hope I made enough bad faces for you, because that's what a lot of parents do. And you do that to them on a consistent basis when they're 5, 7, 8, 10. Well, you've taught them. Anytime you're mad, angry, frustrated, or somebody's not doing something you want them to do, yell, make faces, and scream horrible things at them. That's not good. Threats are not good. I recently heard that somebody was threatening their kid every time they were bad. If you don't stop this, I'm going to put you in the circus and they'll take you away. Or I'm going to call the police and they'll put you in jail. Or I'm going to send you to a boarding school. Oh my goodness, do you know what's wrapped up in those threats? What's wrapped up in those threats is, I don't like you or love you enough to work with you. I don't love you enough to keep you in my home. I would rather throw you off on somebody else. Well, how's a kid going to react to that? Why am I here in this household? And they can't wait to get out. No. You work with them, you love them, you talk to them, and you keep it down. Keep it floating. Be mature. Be the mature person in the room. And that same thing should apply when they're in their teens, and it should apply when they're adults. The difference when they're adults is that respect of keeping everything cool and calm, and like I said in other videos, being logical about your discipline. You have to take it a step further. If they have an apartment, don't you dare get a key and go in anytime you want. That is not your apartment. They have grown up. They're adults. That is their apartment. Now, if they choose to give you a key so that when they're out of town or when they need some help, or if they forget and lock their keys in their apartment, you've got one to let them in. That's okay. But don't you dare go marching into their space as an adult. I know a lot of adult kids who have told me, well, I tell mom and dad it's just too much trouble. Get up and open the door, so just come in. Don't worry about it. Just come on in. No! I had one of my kids say that. No, I will never do that. I will stand at the door and knock and wait for you to either come to the door or yell loud enough to say, Mom, come on in. It's okay. You know the biggest reason? I don't want to march in and catch you in your underwear. I don't want to march in on some kind of argument that's going on. That is your private space because you are an adult now. The other thing is, don't get involved in their finances. No, stay away. What you need to tell them is, it is your life. It is your responsibility. I am here if you need help. And if you don't need help, but all of these boundaries that I'm putting on adult children, does it mean that you should just say, okay, I hope you have a nice life. I'm going to sell my house and go down to silly villages in Florida and just walk around looking at the sky? No. And this transitions me to being a grandparent. You want to be a mentor to your children. Stick around, be that mentor, help them, love them, be there for them. Do not fight with them. If they tell you, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, fine. I'll see you next week and we'll have lunch together. Don't be jealous. I've heard of parents saying, boo-hoo, you went with the other parent and not with me, boo-hoo. Oh, for heaven's sakes, are you 6 years old? No, don't do that. Treat them like a friend. Be good enough to them that they will want you around. So you don't criticize, you don't fuss, you don't... Okay, just out with it. I had 2 grandparents call me this weekend, crying the blues because they were positive their grandchildren wanted nothing to do with them, because they had grandchildren before I did, so theirs are like 17, 18 years old. And they just don't want this, and I guess I don't have a relationship. And I said, okay, tell me about your last encounter. Well, you don't want to know about that one. Why don't I want to know? Well, they were telling me they were buying a house and they were buying this other stuff, and they don't have the money for that. And I said, you know what? That's none of your business. None of your business. If they are over 18 and they can get a loan for a house, it's none of your business if they can afford it or not. What you should do is go in and, wow, I see lots of possibilities here. This is great. This is wonderful. Good for you. Thank you so much for letting me come to see it. And if down the road it becomes a problem, then you go in, you put your arms around them and you say, oh, I'm so sorry, honey. I thought this was going to work out. How can I help? And if they say, can you loan me $100,000? No, I can't do that. But I can talk you through the bankruptcy you've got to go through. I can help you as much as possible. I can help you find another place. I can help you move. I can let them live their life. Because if you believe in God, perhaps this tragedy that happened is a good thing. Perhaps that is what they needed to teach them to save their money, to do what they need to do. Don't get in the way of adult children learning something, but always be there with advice that works, that helps, that loves. That's what you're there for, to be their support as they go through this adult life. And the same applies for grandchildren. There is one thing you have to keep telling yourself over and over as a grandparent. You are a grandparent. You are not the parent. So you cannot override the parent even if you know they're doing it wrong. You can't do that. Now you can gently say, hey, I see some problems with little Susie. What's going on? And wait for them to tell you. And if they say, well, I don't see any problems with her. Oh, would you like to know what I saw? If they say, no, well, maybe no. What'd you see? And then politely say, I saw her do this, and I'm thinking maybe if you talk to her, you can get that out of her. You can... See what I mean? You come alongside them. You support them. You help them. You don't yell and scream at them. You don't have a meltdown. You don't go into the jealous mode. You don't try to make drama in your family. Parents and grandparents should be the killers of drama, not the queen or king of drama. Now, I know I haven't covered everything today, but I hope this has helped you a little bit. As we go through this difficult process in the next few years, or whatever the economy is going to do, as we go through these stages in our life, think about what is going to get you through those stages, but bring your relationships closer. Make sure you hug your kids and you hug your grandkids. Every time your children and grandkids see you, they should go, oh, it's mom, oh, it's dad, and want a hug. And if they're not doing that, don't check them first. Check yourself first. What am I doing to cause the separation? And if you've got an idea, or you want a little help with that, I'm going to respect you enough to say, if you would like my help, click the subscribe button, go to my website, click on the contact page, and send me an email question, and I'll be glad to answer it for you here. Now, I have several books out. I have a new book coming out by the end of August, Scriptures Against Abuse. Now, there is an ebook on Amazon, but it's about 7 or 8 years old. I've updated it so that it's a better book. I hope you will go and get that when it comes out. You can pre-order that on my website. And I just hope there's Praying for America and the Army of God. Then in September, Discipline Exposed is going to be reissued. Minutes of Faith is another book that I've written. So subscribe, contact me, get on my email list. Let's connect together. And I'm here to help you with honest information for powerful lives. Bye-bye now.